My spouse sent a message. I need a divorce. I've fallen for another person. I responded, go ahead and sign the documents. She followed through. What she had no clue about was that the other person was my sibling and he was part of the scheme. The fortune she was after had vanished long before she submitted the paperwork. Initial account. I, aged 48 M, received the message on a Wednesday evening. Married to Laura, 45 F, for 14 years. She was attending her reading group when my cell vibrated. Laura, I require a separation. I'm smitten with another individual. I've consulted an attorney already. Kindly avoid complicating matters. I was parked in my vehicle near the timber warehouse, gazing at the screen. Not entirely surprised, perhaps even a bit liberated. She'd grown remote over recent months. Extended work sessions, fresh outfits, that habit of tilting her device when messaging. I typed back, fine, forward the forms once prepared, just that. No resistance. Frankly, why bother? You've obviously decided. I figured you'd at least reveal the identity. It won't alter things, but it absolutely did. Because a few days afterward, my sibling Mark, 44 M, rang, his tone trembling. Dude, I have to confess something. Regarding Laura and myself. And just like that, my partner, my junior brother, half a year of clandestine encounters, rendezvousing at his place while I assumed she was at fitness class. Exchanging messages nonstop right beside me on the sofa. She claimed you guys were essentially over, Mark explained. Claimed you were merely cohabitants. Apologies, but we shared genuine affection. I allowed him to conclude. Then I uttered 5 phrases that likely baffled him. Appreciate the honesty, Mark. Ended the call, paused there briefly. Then dialed my attorney, Robert, longtime buddy from school days. Robert, I require your assistance. Urgently. Understand the detail no one was aware of. Half a year prior, my Uncle Harold passed. Bequeathed me $340,000, liquid bequest from decades of frugality. Childless, I was his preferred nephew. The funds deposited into my balance in February. Laura was informed. Absolutely she was, abruptly became warmer, discussing prospects ahead, travel schemes, residence upgrade concepts. She was plotting her departure while locking in the windfall. But unbeknownst to her, I'd sensed it. Intuition, perhaps, her demeanor shifted precisely post-inheritance announcement. Far too opportune. Thus, I'd relocated the funds, each cent. Shifted to my mother's balance for legacy arrangements. Mother, 71, keen-minded. We arranged a sequence of advances and donations, rendering the funds practically undetectable as shared marital holdings. Robert guided the process entirely. Spanned 3 months of meticulous orchestration. Records, sworn statements, valid monetary reconfiguration, entirely lawful, thoroughly recorded, completed prior to Laura uttering divorce. You're a clever fellow, Robert noted then. Safeguarding resources prior to conflict arises, proved accurate regarding the conflict, simply hadn't anticipated it bearing Mark's features. Progress 1. 14 days passed. The separation documents materialized. Laura sought 50% of the property worth, $280,000, 50% of all balances and holdings. Alimony at $2,500 monthly for 5 years. Her vehicle, titled to her, and she kindly permitted me to retain my truck and equipment. The holdings inventory referenced bequest resources roughly $340,000 as communal marital assets for division. Robert examined it all, grinned, truly grinned. She's unaware, right? Correct. Submitted the counter, consented to the split. Disputed the holdings allocation. Included records demonstrating the bequest funds were absent. Relocated to my mother via legacy arrangements months preceding any separation submission. Lawful, recorded, verifiable. Additionally included a formal affirmation I'd provide cellular logs to the tribunal. I'd archived every exchange, every communication record, allow them to decipher half a year of constant interaction between Laura and Mark should they opt for underhanded tactics. Laura phoned that evening. Initial vocal contact in a fortnight. What do you imply by the funds missing? Donated to mother, legacy arrangements. It's titled to her now. You can't just do that. That belonged to us. In truth, it was my bequest. And I may handle my personal funds as I see fit. Executed at half a year past. This constitutes deception. You concealed holdings, incorrect. Legitimate relocation, recorded, care to review the files. My attorney possesses duplicates, she disconnected, redialed moments later. Mark indicated you were aware of our involvement. Indeed, and you're fine with it. Chuckled. Unavoidable. Laura, you're departing me for my sibling. My sentiments won't impact it. You pair suit one another. Avoid pettiness. Execute the forms, claim the property if desired, claim all legitimately under my title, but that bequest. Already relocated. Enjoy your future, restricted her contact, pointless expenditure of effort. Mark messaged the subsequent day. Brother, we ought to converse directly. Me, we truly shouldn't. Laura's panicking over finances. Claims you concealed items. Me, concealed nothing. Relocated lawfully half a year prior to her divorce mention. Not my concern. That's harsh, brother. Considering all. You mean post your half-year affair with my spouse. Indeed. Profound misfortune. Mother contacted later. Laura's parent rang me. Vicious individual, you pilfered from Laura. What response did you give? Informed her the funds are mine, legitimately relocated. And should she ring again, pursuing a no-contact directive? Then terminated. Adore my mother. Progress 2. 30 days onward. Matters intensified. Laura engaged another attorney, confrontational style. Began insisting on comprehensive fiscal examination. Sought banking logs, charge records, validation of bequest destination. Robert prepared, delivered it all. The documentation trail was impeccably transparent. Uncle Harold's legacy shift, $340,000 to my balance. February, array of donations to my mother. $100,000 dispersed across 3 months. March, May. Advance to mother for her estate remortgage. $180,000. April, stake in mother's enterprise entity. $60,000. May, all recorded, all lawful, all executed months preceding Laura's divorce text. Her attorney attempted asset depletion claim, that I'd intentionally squandered resources to spite her. Robert refuted. Your Honor, my client pursued routine legacy arrangements with his senior mother months before any separation submission. No sign of spousal discord then. The shifts were valid monetary strategy between offspring and parent. The magistrate assessed the chronology, regarded Laura's attorney. These shifts precede the separation request by 4 months. Absent proof Mr. Thompson foresaw the divorce prior to your client's submission. This resembles valid monetary strategy. Laura's attorney pressed. Your Honor, the chronology raises doubts. Doubtful isn't unlawful, counsel. Present fraud evidence or proceed. They possessed zilch. No confirmation I'd anticipated her exit. No misconduct indication. Merely a chronology displaying I'd shifted funds before her divorce reference. Beyond the hearing chamber, Laura ambushed me. Mark accompanied her. Initial sighting of them paired. You orchestrated this deliberately? She whispered sharply. Orchestrated what? Legacy arrangements with my mother. Yes, that was the intent. Mark interjected. You were aware. Of you pair? No. Suspected Laura's infidelity. Unaware it was you until your disclosure. Regarded him. Must admit that was a base action. Even by your standards, we share affection. You're enamored with what you presumed was 50% of $340,000. The distinction, she once genuinely cared for me. You, merely the fool who trusted her. Laura's complexion flushed. I never deceived Mark. Truly. Thus you informed him you wed me 2 months following my compensation from the vehicle incident. That you advocated the lavish ceremony right after my $50,000 award. That you've hovered near whenever funds enter my balance. Mark eyed her. A change flickered in his gaze. She claimed you were monetarily domineering. He murmured deliberately. Indeed. Inquire who cleared her charged debts. Twice. Inquire who acquired that vehicle she operates. Inquire who financed her advisory venture that yielded nothing. Mark fell silent. Laura clutched his limb. Ignore him. He's scheming to alienate you from me. But skepticism emerged now. In his gaze, excellent. They departed jointly, yet Mark glanced rearward repeatedly. Progress 3. 60 days onward. Arbitration proved chaotic. Laura demanded totality. The residence furnishings, 50% my enterprise gear, sustained aid. Her fresh attorney pressed aggressively. Robert remained composed, presented the facts. My client operates a modest construction firm with scant holdings. The household residence bears a lien of $190,000 versus $280,000 valuation. That's $90,000 net. We're prepared to extend Mrs. Thompson $45,000 as her portion, and she departs unburdened. That's offensive. Laura's attorney retorted. She's due 50% of all encompassing the bequest. The bequest lawfully shifted to his mother. We've addressed this. Lacking novel proof, those funds remain off-limits. They required validation the shifts were authentic. Robert supplied. Advance records indicating my mother remortgaged her estate. Enterprise records indicating the entity stake. Donation levy submissions filed correctly. Sworn confirmations from the institution verifying the dealings, all verified, as it was authentic. I genuinely donated the funds to Mother. The circumstance that I acted due to suspicions of Laura's machinations didn't render it unlawful. The arbitrator eventually interceded. Mrs. Thompson, I observe a definitive documentation path. These shifts seem authentic. Lacking disproof, I doubt success in tribunal. Laura rose. This is absurd. He robbed me. He donated funds to his mother prior to your separation submission, the arbitrator stated bluntly. That's not robbery, that's legacy strategy. She exited abruptly. Her attorney trailed, appearing weary. Robert secured his dossier. They'll accept the accord. Allow a week. Accurate. 4 days hence, her attorney rang. They'd consent to the $45,000 plus she retains her vehicle and belongings. I retain the residence, my firm, all remaining. Separation concluded 6 weeks after. Cost me $45,000 and roughly $8,000 in counsel costs. Relative to the $170,000 she pursued, acceptable. Yet the true diversion commenced. Learned via my sibling that Mark and Laura's liaison disintegrated approximately 3 weeks post-arbitration. Evidently, once Mark comprehended no fortune existed, the affection dissipated swiftly. Per my sibling, he loaned $15,000 to cover Laura's counsel costs, anticipating reimbursement from the accord. When Laura obtained the $45,000, she compensated her attorney and retained the balance. Informed Mark she required it for a lodging guarantee. He received naught in return. They parted dramatically at a kin gathering. Mark insisted on his reimbursement. Laura deemed it a donation. Voices escalated. My sibling captured portions. Mark labeled Laura a fortune-hunting manipulator. Laura labeled Mark a lamentable dependent who lacks restraint. Mother observed from the veranda, enjoying chilled brew. Indeed, she remarked to me that resolved nicely. Yes, Mother, it truly did. Progress 4. 4 months following separation. The repercussions persisted. Mark attempted outreach repeatedly, left recordings about kinship and fraternal bonds, desired a casual drink. To discuss matters, erased each recording he'd chosen. My sibling arranged Thanksgiving meal. Uncomfortable, as Mark was nominally welcome. He arrived unaccompanied. I attended with Mother. The strain was instant. Mark endeavored to near me. Hey, buddy, dialogue? No, please, months have elapsed. We're siblings. Siblings abstain from relations with each other's partners, Mark. We're kin. That varies it. He recoiled. Mother touched my limb. We relocated to another space. Learned subsequently that Mark devoted the meal attempting justifications to any listener. How Laura initiated pursuit. How she'd alleged my emotional tyranny. How she'd vowed a shared existence. My uncle silenced him. You engaged with your sibling's partner, Mark. No interest in rationalizations. He departed prematurely. Concurrently, Laura faced her challenges. Revealed that $45,000 stretched minimally. Lease, guarantees, furnishings. Her vehicle installment. She reverted to her prior role at the coverage agency, despised it per shared contacts. She attempted one call to me. I was at the residence installing fresh shelving in the galley, responded on the 5th chime. What? I simply desired to express regret for the conclusion, acknowledged. That's all, merely acknowledgement. What do you seek, Laura? You secured your separation, you secured funds. What's additional? I erred with Mark, with all, fine, absorbed the lesson. We shared 14 years, and you discarded it the instant you anticipated 50% bequest. That conveys all necessary, unjust. I did cherish you, perhaps, but you cherished fortune greater. And you lacked respect sufficient for an honorable conclusion. She fell mute. Then I encountered your mother at the market. She possessed a novel vehicle. There it surfaced, the true call purpose. Yes, she acquired a fine sedan. Retirement present to herself. Using the funds you donated, using her funds that she legitimately holds, you schemed this. The entirety. I safeguarded myself, Laura. That's prudent when suspecting exploitation. Proved correct. Terminated, restricted the contact. Mother did procure a new vehicle, also embarked on a voyage. Installed fresh roofing on her residence. The funds were hers. She merited them via nurturing me and support post-father's passing. If expenditure appealed her decision, the bequest concerned not funds anyway. It regarded observing Laura's expression upon realizing her wager on a non-existent reward. Concluding progress, 8 months after. Existence is rather fine now. Residence is mine, comprehensively upgraded, firm expanding, recruited 2 fresh staff this period. Mark attempted reconciliation once more, appeared at a worksite. I was erecting an extension for a patron. Dialogue essential, he stated, truly unnecessary. I recognize my error. I recognize the pain inflicted. But we're siblings. Kin absolves. Set aside the fastener tool. Regarded him. Seek absolution here. I absolve you for naivety in trusting Laura's sincerity. I absolve you for prioritizing impulse over reason. There. Absolved. That's inadequate. But absolution doesn't imply desiring your presence, Mark. You selected. Endure it. I'm enduring mine. Frankly, I'm content. She exploited me, he murmured softly. Laura, she never cherished me, merely sought the fortune she presumed I'd assist securing from you. Yes, fellow, aware, and you permitted it, you foresaw she'd pursue me. That halted me, as yes, portion of me pondered if she'd aim at Mark. He was perpetually vulnerable, perpetually seeking affirmation, simple target. I didn't compel your involvement with her, I stated. That was your selection. You might have alerted me. Why, you rang to declare affection for my partner. Would an alert have swayed you? He lacked retort. Depart, Mark. Construct your intended existence, but exclude me. He departed, no sighting since. Laura, per reports, courts a fresh individual. Some fellow from digital matching. Wish success. Sincerely. Not from concern, but to deter returns. Mothers thriving. Invested majority prudently. Established a fund for my kin's offspring. Enjoying optimal retirement. Regarding me, repaired the residence precisely per preference. No concessions, no debates on hues or fixture designs. It's mine, feels rewarding, encountered someone months prior. Bait 46 manages a food service firm. We're advancing cautiously. She knows the separation. Knows of Mark. Didn't flee so auspicious. Shared a fascinating exchange with her last week during supper. Did you truly remain ignorant of your sibling? She inquired. Frankly, suspected infidelity. Unaware it was Mark until his revelation, but you relocated funds regardless. Yes. Assumed whichever target Laura positioned for a reward, unwilling to finance her departure. Bait grinned. That's quite strategic. That's endurance. She lifted her vessel. To endurance, then, we toasted. And yes, to endurance. The bequest saga imparted a vital lesson, not regarding funds. I'd have managed equitable division had Laura been forthright, but she wasn't. She maneuvered, plotted, exploited individuals. Occasionally optimal retribution lacks complexity. It's merely anticipating by 3 paces and witnessing schemes collapse due to underestimation. Laura presumed I'd yield. Presumed I was the dependable, mundane spouse who'd never anticipate. Mark presumed acquiring a partner and reward. Both erred gravely. And the funds? Mothers utilizing beneficially. Established an award at the local institute in Uncle Harold's honor. He'd have approved. As for me, simply existing, constructing, earning honestly, reposing peacefully aware I owe naught, that's surpassing any bequest.